welcome to day 14. Day 14, which is texture paste. So for texture paste, what we're going to use again is my lunar paste because as I've already discussed with you, I think most of my other pastes are dried up. So this is the one we're going to use. We're going to be using some stencils in circles because we are also on Scraplift Crafternoon and we are scraplifting Kathy for her birthday. So you're going to see her layout right here. You'll notice she's got a bunch of circles going up and down the page. So what I did to mimic what she had is I'm going to show you here, on my Cricut, and this should be the big reveal here. I'm going to see if I can do it. And I cut all of these circles and a border, which matches hers. We're going to lay those out on my background piece, and then we're going to use on top of it some texture paste to add some additional circles. So that's what we're going to do. We've got big Vicky Bouton circles. We've got these, which are actually coffee stains from Cartabella, but they all kind of make circles. So we're going to do that all up the page. We've got one photo that we're doing, which is here. And I'm kind of hoping I can figure out how to fit this on, and I might not be able to make a background. So we'll just find a paper that we can make a background of. But that's our plan. So if you're excited and you'll join me, we will scrap lift and use some texture paste. I will put you on fast forward. We'll see how it comes together. I put this on massive fast forward because I don't think you need to see me try to do the mixed media part of this. But basically, the first thing I did was take the Cricut paper and lay it on where I wanted it on my base page. So this is an old collection. I don't know what it is. If somebody really needs to know, it doesn't have a border strip, so I can't, it's really hard for me to tell you what it is, but it's just some paper that I had. It was really pretty, but it's kind of all, the ones I picked out are text-based or number-based, the text-based. And then I'm adding in the 49 Market Okra Essentials, and then you're going to see some of the Crafty Garden Essentials, just to add a little bit of pieces and parts to this to use as ephemera. I don't have ephemera for those two pieces that I'm using, the paper pieces. I just, they are in my stash as leftover, not even sure where they came from. So I'm going to lay down all of these circles. I'm going to replace my tape because, as always, my tape runner dies in the middle of doing a live video. And then after I lay them down, I'm going to use the texture paste on top of them with the circles. Now, the gold texture paste works great. I really wanted a little bit more pop of peach or orange. So you're going to see that I try to revigorate or revitalize one of the other colors I have. It doesn't work so great, but it is what it is. I ended up throwing that container away. I think I talked about this back when we did mixed media, but use your products. That's the one thing I will say is if you are a person who really, really likes texture paste, and you should use it. If you're like me and you should only buy it when you know you're going to use it. Kind of wish I had one white. I might buy one white, but that's it because I don't use it enough. And I'm sure there's a lot of money that I've wasted in having these. So this is the picket fence was Go Bad. So buy the ones you know you're going to use and use them. I like the way they look whenever I do use them. I probably should use them more, but this page is taking me about an hour to do versus most of my pages take between 30 and 40 minutes. And the only reason it only took an hour is I didn't actually wait for the whole thing to dry before I started working on it. So it's not really my jam. I'm going to come back in a second live and talk you through how this looked. Hopefully you're enjoying this process page so far. Okay. Okay, so you've seen I used I tried to reinstitute one of the um, older paste. I got a little bit out of it. Looks pretty good. I used the gold lunar paste as the circles, and then I finished it off with a little bit of splatter in antique gold. We're going to let this dry, and then we're going to come back. We're just going to use some embellishments up here, find a title, because that's her layout was mainly the kind of circles. But enjoying this, I think it looks really cool, actually. And I know you're not seeing as much of it on the screen because of the lighting. I'm wondering if I turn on this other light, we'll see what happens. Just put that down. I'm gonna get you the light. Oh, my light is there we go. So you can see, I'll lift it up. You can see the gold and the red and then that kind of gold splatter. It looks pretty cool. Okay, so I will come back to you when this is dry and we will go from there. Okay, so we're back. It's not quite dry, but we're gonna go from here. I'm using the Okra ephemera stackers, which are basically ways you can make different layers behind photos. I used that to put there. I'm going to use some of these. I'm using okra because we're trying to pull that gold back in. So we're going to put some of this stuff together around the photo. And then if I look at Kathy's picture, she does have a title over here. So we're going to look through some of the embellishments that I have and see if we can find a title that goes good down here. And that's what we're going to be doing. So I put you on fast forward, and we are going to make the base of the photo. I think you've seen me do this a few times where I make a set of layers around a photo. It's just taking the different pieces and figuring out where to put them. Now this one I had to peel up and then put back down, and it ended up being catawampus, but I'm okay with that. I say with such security, but I'm really not okay with it, but I've decided just to get over it a little bit. Anyway, I'm making all these layers. This yellow piece I intended to put there, it ended up never getting put on. I found it at the underneath my page later, so that was kind of fun. So I never did put that yellow tab anywhere, but it was part of my plan. I put a little tab, and now I have just kind of a base, and I'm going to add that to the photo. You can see in Kathy's photo how she has her most of her photos in the upper left, and then she kind of has just the title. So the next thing I need to do is find a title. I'm going to pull from the Crafty Garden collection to find some words. And I end up finding, there's a lot of words that I have left. Most of them are blue though, because I've pulled most of everything that's not blue. So I'm going to need to move this collection into something I have that has more blue, which I don't have a lot of things that have blue for some reason, I found out. But I ended up finding the words together right now, and I think that works. This is a group of us that were at the wine tasting. I think that works. And then I find the little word captured, and I put that on the photo. This doesn't require a lot of embellishments because the background paper is so vibrant. So what you're going to see is I don't do much more than just add, that's the word captured, and then the rest of this is just together right now. I like the way it turned out. I will come back and talk to you about it in a minute, but it's not my normal style, so that was a lot of fun. It was fun to do something outside my style. I am always more comfortable with kind of the classic grid layout or the classic layouts where there's a background paper and just a couple of layers. This kind of mixed media is not something I'm as comfortable with. But as we've been discussing this whole time, part of the purpose of doing Scraptember is to push you outside your comfort zone and to use things that maybe you wouldn't normally use. So that's what I've been doing, and it is a lot of fun. I remember from last year when I did it that it was a lot of fun. It's also getting me into things like my scrap paper, these two pieces of paper I might never have used. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm going to come back real time and finish it out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. So we're back, and I feel like I did a good job of scraplifting Kathy. Happy birthday, Kathy, if you're watching this. And I have the one floral over here like she had. I've got all of the circles. I did the texture paste for the Scraptember Day 14, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this. I will try to see you tomorrow when we tackle some puffy stickers. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye-bye.